Sunmaker, the Regiment of Renown Hellstorm Rocket Battery, possibly the most powerful destructive artillery in the entire game. I would even say it is the king of artillery in Total Warhammer. I am sure many of you have used this artillery at some point, either playing single player or multiplayer, and its devastating firepower is quite well known. But what exactly made the Sunmaker such a powerful unit? And what kind of special functions can it bring to the battlefield? Now that is going to be the topic of today's unit focus. Now let us begin with some stat talks. The Sunmaker's biggest strength lies in their missile damage. Being armor-piercing explosive missiles, they have great damage value and makes them extremely effective against densely packed infantry, just like these dwarf warriors already taking substantial damage from all the bombardment. Now of course there is some help from the regular Hellstorms as well, but if we compare their damage value, the Sunmaker is taking a substantial lead in terms of damage dealt as gold value. So what is the reason behind such effective bombardment? Well, the first trade secret lies in their missile count in every volley. As a special trait of this Regiment of Renown, every artillery model in the Sunmaker shoots 9 shots in every volley. This is 3 times the shots compared to the regular Hellstorms who only shoots 3 shots per volley. This basically means the Sunmaker can do 3 times the damage in every single rocket volley. Of course, this extreme firepower comes at the cost of ammunition count, with Sunmaker only have 8 volleys in total, so 1/3 of ammunition compared to 24 of regular Hellstorms. This makes the regular Hellstorms and the Sunmaker have the same projectile counts in total. You might think that this makes both units have the same damage output in total. Well, theoretically yes, but practically no. In an ideal world where artillery can expend all their ammo, perhaps regular Hellstorm and Sunmaker will have the same damage potential. But unfortunately, on the battlefield, your opponent will be using whatever they have, including mobility, counterfire, and also spells to disrupt, silence, or even destroy your artillery. So it is actually rather rare to see artillery using up all their ammo. So that means an artillery's ability to fire all their projectiles as soon as possible is extremely crucial for them to recover their value. The sooner you can empty your ammo, the more likely you can maximize the damage against your opponent. And the Sunmaker excels at doing exactly that. Other than the projectile count advantage, the Sunmaker also outpaces regular Hellstorm massively in terms of reload speed. As you can see here, despite having 3 times the projectiles, the Sunmaker only takes 3.5 seconds more to reload. That basically means a Sunmaker can shoot 3 times as fast as a regular Hellstorm, as the Sunmaker takes roughly the same time to shoot a volley with 3 times the projectiles. To put things into perspectives, we can start with some maths. The Sunmaker's total reloading time is 8 volleys times 20.5 seconds, a total reloading time of 164 seconds, just under 3 minutes. While a regular Hellstorm has 24 volleys times 17 seconds of reloading time, so in total 408 seconds of reloading time, taking almost 7 minutes to empty their ammo. This can make a whole world of difference here because the 3-minute mark is still early to mid-game territory, while the 7-minute mark is way into the late game, and sometimes battles don't even last that long. So that means the Sunmaker can get into battle using its superior range as the longest range artillery, blast away its enemies, inflict maximum damage, and just call it a day, while on the other hand, a regular Hellstorm would struggle to use up even half its ammo simply because it takes double the time to shoot out the same number of projectiles as the Sunmaker. Even if you take account of the time consumed by firing animations, just like here on the left screen, the Sunmaker can still reliably consume all their ammo before the 4-minute mark. In contrast, it takes the regular Hellstorms almost 7.5 minutes to do the same. And to further enhance this insane rate of DPS, the Sunmaker's Regiment of Renown status means that they are fully upgraded by default, giving them better melee stats and also better leadership. But their true power doesn't come from these kind of stats, it is actually hidden on the unit card. If we select a Hellstorm and press Alt, we can see a circle representing the accuracy and projectile dispersion of the artillery. And if we select the Sunmaker and do the same, we can see that the Sunmaker's circle at the same distance is much smaller than a regular Hellstorm, meaning that they are much more accurate with their projectiles, That allows the Sunmaker to land more hits, focusing all its projectiles around a small area, saturating it with a total of 36 armor-piercing explosive rockets in a single volley, while regular Hellstorm will rely heavily on RNG to hit targets at a great distance. So Sunmaker is much more effective with their projectiles since more of them hit their targets. With this level of damage output and accuracy, the Sunmaker can straight up delete infantry units before they even get to the front line. Of course, it doesn't do much against low entity count units like, say, monsters and characters, but there's also a hidden function of this artillery, and that is its ability to counter other artillery. If anything, I would say the Sunmaker is the Empire's best bet to counter dedicated artillery factions. First of all, the Sunmaker's accuracy allows it to land its shots on small artillery units. It doesn't always hit the artillery pieces, but it doesn't have to. All it needs is the explosive damage to kill the crew, and without a crew, the artillery pieces are useless anyways. An artillery crew usually has low morale, low armor, low HP, and low model count, making them extremely vulnerable to any kind of damage. It doesn't take long for them to rout when they are bombarded with 36 rockets every 20 seconds. With the extra projectiles and high accuracy of the Sunmaker, the artillery crew will be essentially smothered in explosions. On top of that, the Sunmaker being the artillery with the longest range in the entire game at 480, it can always get the first shot in an artillery duel thanks to its superior reach. And then if you have some mobility to disrupt, say, flyers, things get even easier. You can just drop in your melee units, silencing their artillery, preventing any counterfire while Sunmaker does its job. Overall, the Sunmaker is a powerful artillery. Its sole purpose on the battlefield is to dump as much firepower onto the enemies as fast as possible, with extreme prejudice. All its extra projectiles, efficient reloading, and high accuracy all serves to make the most use of its explosive, armor-piercing damage, and turn the normally pretty mediocre Hellstorm rocket battery into one of the most terrifying missile units in the entire game. If there's infantry or even cavalry on the battlefield, they will get deleted by the Sunmaker. Even if your opponent tries to fight fire with fire and bring their own artillery to counter fire, as long as you give the Sunmaker the right support, it can and will win those long-range firefights, establishing the Sunmaker's dominance among all artillery in Total Warhammer just by its sheer volume of firepower alone.